Greetings. I'm Mr. Keogh. I'm one of the school counselors at Wayne Hills, and I am here today with Mr. Bender, one of our graduate assistants. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be sharing with you some information about Financial Aid 101.
So the topics we're going to discuss today is student debt, FAFSA overview, when and how to apply, scholarships and grants, and other student loan options.
And what you're going to see today is we have a lot of information that we're going to share with you. We're going to post this, not only the audio portion of the presentation, but we'll post the slides as well. And you can review these, you can reread them, you can watch the videos that are embedded in the presentation. So overall, what we're talking about is student loan debt in the United States. And the point here is that in 2019, it was $1.5 trillion. And in 2020, it was up to $1.6 trillion. So that means in literally 1 year, $100 billion of additional student debt was incurred.
And what this has led to is 70% of students end up taking out loans to go to college.
So some background facts. So in-state tuition, and again, these are all averages, but it gives you an idea that the average cost of college tuition ranges from $9,410 for an in-state university to $32,410 for private schools. Keeping in mind that community colleges will traditionally give you a lower net cost, and that would be applying to your first 2 years of an education post-high school. In addition, out of state, that information says $23,890 is the average out of state at a public institution. Keeping in mind, as you see in yellow, these numbers do not include room and board if you are living on campus or living in an off-campus apartment. Those costs can often be between $12,000 and $20,000 additional dollars.
So now that we have more of an idea of how much college costs, you may be wondering, how do you end up paying for it? Now here's an 8-minute video that you can explore on your own time. We will post the PowerPoint along with this video, and this video will explain how to pay for college in more detail.
So, what are a few of the ways that you can identify and say, how am I going to manage the cost of my college education? And it really comes down to 3 different options. One is free money. That's what every student and family want, because that includes grants and scholarships. And those terms can truly be used interchangeably. The second option is borrowed money, whether they be federal loans or state loans, and we'll talk about those shortly. Or their private loans are another option. And the third option is earned money. Many students work during their college experience. Some students work on campus in a government-approved job. Other students have part-time jobs that are off campus.
So if you're wondering where to begin, you can always start with FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. And here's another great video that you could explore in your own time, and it will go into FAFSA in more detail. And when you go to the FAFSA.gov website, this is the home screen that you'll be brought to.
So what we're really looking at here, and to give you this broad perspective, is that there's more than 1.4 million high school graduates each year, and they would have qualified for $2.7 billion in just federal aid, which is almost $2,000 per student, but they did not take advantage of that because they did not bother to fill out the FAFSA form. So hopefully you're getting the message that filling out the FAFSA form is the number one step for you to achieve college at an affordable rate. So some of you may be thinking, but my parents make too much money, or your parents may share. You know what? We're not going to fill out the FAFSA form because we wouldn't qualify for financial aid anyway. Please keep in mind that there is no income cutoff or for college scholarships or merit aid, but in order to be considered for such aid, for such scholarships, you must fill out the FAFSA form. So what's really important here is that you seriously consider having a family conversation and determining whether or not it is worth it for you to fill out the FAFSA. One additional piece of information and insight is that oftentimes financial aid officers have shared with us at Wayne Hills High School that they can give countless examples where students and families' financial situations changed from when they originally were applying for school and looking at costs and when they actually began to attend. Changes in family dynamics could be loss of a job, health issues that have reduced the amount of income that the family was expecting to earn. The only way a financial aid office can help that student and help that family by offering additional resources is if a FAFSA form is on file with the financial aid office.
So while FAFSA offers federal resources, HESA, which is the Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, is a resource for state information regarding loan programs and many other resources that you can explore. Now we're going to talk about scholarships. Scholarships are essentially gifts, meaning that they do not need to be repaid. You can apply to as many as you want in order to get the most money you could possibly earn. There are thousands of them offered by schools, employers, individuals, and many other options that you could explore.
So keeping in mind scholarships, there's two varieties here. Private scholarships, and those are awarded by private sector organizations like foundations, businesses, churches, civic organizations. And there's also institutional scholarships, and those are offered by that specific college or university.
To find out more information about scholarships, you could go to the Wayne Hills website and go to the Counseling tab, where there'll be additional scholarship information.
And as you see here on our scholarship page, we have many resources, many websites where you can do scholarship searches.
And some of the links are here, which is scholarships.com, fastweb.com, myscholly.com, and goingmerry.com. And to your right, you will see the homepage of scholarship.com, and you will find many additional links on the counseling webpage. So these are two websites that allow you to do scholarship searches and allow you to put in all of your information just one time for many scholarship opportunities. So the way that this works is just like the common application, and this is Going Merry and Scholar Snap.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about grants. So as I said earlier, grants and scholarships, oftentimes those terms are used interchangeably. So when we talk specifically now about grants, there are really two varieties. There's need-based grants and there's merit-based grants. Now, need-based grants are those grants, those resources that a college or university is going to award a student based on financial need. That is going to be based on the FAFSA form. In addition, and we're not going to address it in detail or in any realm here, but there's also another financial aid form called the CSS profile, where many highly selective colleges and universities will require that form to be filled out in addition to the FAFSA in order for a student to be considered for need-based grant money. The other side of this is merit-based grants. These are tied to performance. So that college or university who has merit-based grants available, they will simply say, if you have this grade point average, if you have achieved this particular honor or award during your lifetime, if you have achieved these standardized test scores, if you're majoring in this particular discipline, we will award you this dollar amount, and it has nothing to do with the family's financial position. The next category is loans, right? So after I have a conversation with my family, I've decided what college or university I'd like to attend. I've looked at how much my family is going to be able to contribute. I've looked at the grants and the scholarships that I have been awarded either privately or school-based grants, and there's still a differential. There's still a financial need. This is the category for loans. So, what are student loans? It's a type of financial assistance that is designed to bridge the total cost of a college or university with the amount of resources that a family has.
There are three types of loan options. There are federal loans, there are state loans, and there are private loans.
So, if we look at these individually, and we're saying that these are loans that are given by the federal government, and we're going to, on next slides, we're going to show you pros and cons of each of them. So, if we look at the fact that the federal government, they have what's called subsidized and unsubsidized student loans. Now, subsidized student loans means something very simple. While you are in college, there is interest, but the interest is being paid by the government. Unsubsidized means you are using those loan resources to pay for college. Interest is accumulating, but you do not have to begin repaying the total cost until 6 months after you graduate with an undergraduate degree. What happens there is, and let's use a very quick example. If you have a $5,000 subsidized loan and a $5,000 unsubsidized loan, you now graduate from college. 6 months later, you'll get a letter saying, on a subsidized loan, you owe us $5,000. You can either pay it back right then and there or enter payment terms. You also get a letter that says your unsubsidized loan now must start to be repaid. It will have a balance greater than the $5,000 that you were given, because the unsubsidized loan does not allow for the government to pay the interest for you. It simply defers the interest that you as a student and family must ultimately repay. Private loans. If there's still a differential between the amount your family has, the grant scholarship money, the loans that you received from the federal government, there's still a need. And that's when families decide, well, I think I'm going to go to my local bank. I'm going to go to a credit union or another financial institution. And that is why college is affordable, or I should say college is available to everyone. Because if your family has reasonable to good credit, they will allow you and your family to borrow as much as you want. Now, so the pros represent you probably can get a lot of money if you need it. The cons are oftentimes the interest rates and the repayment terms are far more significant than with the federal subsidized and unsubsidized student loans, as well as your state loan opportunities. All right, in the world of work study, all right, part of a financial aid package that you would receive, right? So let's go back for a minute. I'm applying to school. I complete the FAFSA form and or the CSS profile. The financial aid office, they put together a financial aid package for me. I receive it. I look at the components of that financial aid award, and I see that there's a component for merit-based aid. There's a component for need-based aid, grants, and scholarships. I see how much of a federal loan, both subsidized and unsubsidized, I would qualify for. In addition, the third component of a financial aid award letter is work study. And work study is truly something wonderful. It allows you, as an undergraduate student, in this case, to be employed on a campus federally approved job. You are going to be earning a minimum of the federal minimum wage. And the wonderful thing about this opportunity is there are many jobs on campus that are only available to students who have a work study award. So as an example, if you receive $2,000 work study award and one of your professors in the first few classes of your freshman year says, "Hello, everyone. I'm working on a research project and I need a few undergraduates to assist me in this research project." And you say, "Well, sure, I'm interested." The very next question the professor will ask is, "Do you have work study money as an award?" If you do, you can be considered for that opportunity. If you do not have work study money as part of your financial package award, you would not qualify for that position. But more importantly, you wouldn't qualify for that opportunity to work closely with a professor that may yield you a wonderful building of a relationship that may serve you well, not only during your college years, but in your professional life as well. So that's one of the reasons why, even if you are uncertain if you'll receive any grant money or loan money in your financial aid package based on your family income, by applying for financial aid through the FAFSA form, you may be granted an opportunity for work study money. In addition, and as one final comment, you don't have to take this. You don't have to work up to the maximum award that you are given. It's simply an opportunity if, in fact, you decide to take it and you find a job on campus to your liking.
So when you take the opportunity to click through this PowerPoint, you'll see an example that we used with a student named Abby, and you'll see that she took out a loan for all 4 years. And then over here, you'll see that the average student loan debt for college graduates who borrowed to get through school is approximately $40,000. And on the next slide, you'll end up seeing what happens to Abby with her student loans. And here is ways that you could potentially minimize the cost of college. There's a list of examples for you, but one example here is to attend an in-state college. This is definitely a way to potentially minimize the cost of college, because oftentimes a school that is in-state will be a lot less expensive than if you go out of state. And there are many other examples for you to look through on this slide here.
So I think in conclusion, if you take the time to watch the videos that have been embedded in this presentation, you will learn a lot. We encourage you to share this with your family, watch the videos together, review some of the information that's here, because the time and the effort that you spend can reduce your costs of a college or university education. And just keep in mind, when we speak throughout this presentation about a college or university education, please understand that all of you, if you are going to be enrolling in further education at a trade school or another professional school, you also qualify for financial aid through completion of the FAFSA form. It does not have to be only a college or university. So as I said earlier, college is accessible to every student, and we, as your counselors, are here at Wayne Hills to help, as well, of course, as Mr. Bender is.
And now here is an activity that you could do on your own time. You could map through your college experience and see how much money it might cost you throughout all of your college years.
So thanks for your attention, and we hope that you enjoy your journey exploring and learning.